Many of your works, including The Mist and Children of the Corn, have a suspicious view of organized religion.
Uh-huh.
Other works, like The Stand, have a very positive view of religion in the form of Mother Abigail. Mm-hmm. What is your viewpoint on organized religion?
Well, this book is also about organized religion to a degree, and I just hate people who wrap their political ambitions in God and the church and that sort of thing, and say, you ought to do this because it's God's will or because God told me to. I don't just hate it. It gives me the absolute creeps. And it's one of the things that Jim Rennie is a deacon in the local church, and the church has become a meth factory. I don't think that's given away too much. And if there's any,
I wasn't going to mention that.
If there's any symbolism in that, it's that, it just seems to me that Marx was right, that religion is the opiate of the people when it's organized religion. And I see it as most of the problem in the world today is people saying, God told me to do this, whether it's radical Islamists or whether it's the polygamists who are marrying 9-year-old girls. There's a whole gamut that you can run. We just had an election in Maine. I'm ashamed to say this, but there was a referendum to overturn the rights of gay people to engage in civil marriage, and I'm embarrassed to say that referendum passed. It didn't pass by a lot, but the major sponsor in-state, there were a lot of out-of-state money that came in, but the major sponsor in-state was the Catholic Church. And I was raised in a religious environment. I've got a lot of Bible, and I've used a lot of it, and I do believe in God. I believe in some kind of a higher power, which is probably something I picked up to a degree in one of the recovery programs that I'm involved in. But as a kid who grew up with Bible drills and all that, somebody came to Jesus and said, well, if you're the Messiah, then probably you think we shouldn't give taxes to Rome anymore. And Jesus said, render unto Rome the things that are Rome's, and render unto God the things that belong to God. And I just wish that when you see the Jerry Falwells and you see the other religious leaders who say, we ought to have a say in politics. No, sorry, you shouldn't. Your job is spiritual. Your job is spiritual guidance. I've always been amazed that the Catholic Church would come out and go into states and say, we want to support legislation that keeps women from choosing to have an abortion if they need to have an abortion. Well, if you don't want to have an abortion, don't have an abortion, for goodness sakes. And if you believe that God thinks that abortion is, some kind of a sin, well, my goodness, don't have one. But don't make it a law that says Susie X over here don't believe what you believe, can't have one. So that's a problem. But God is not a problem. God is a solution, it seems to me, for a lot of people. And certainly, even, and I'm not entirely sure, I could die and get into the afterlife and discover it's run by Rodney Dangerfield. All right? Which would be a shock. Nobody really knows, and in that sense, I'm an agnostic. But I do believe that belief in a higher power increases a person's humanitarian abilities.